Hello, and thank you for watching this April 11th weather update brought to you by Agrible, the makers of Morning Farm Report. My name is Eric Snodgrass, and I'm a senior atmospheric scientist and co-founder of Agrible. April has started off cold. Temperature anomalies for the first week of April show a persistent trough that has resided in the jet stream over the Great Lakes region through the Northeast. Many locations from eastern North Dakota through Maine and as far south as Tennessee have been 4 to 12 degrees cooler than average. While the east has been cold, the western half of the country has enjoyed summer-like warmth as temperatures have averaged over 10 degrees above normal in some locations. Several hard freezes have hit a large section of the Corn Belt, but remember, it is early April and this happens quite regularly. If February and March had not been so warm, this would have felt more like normal. Speaking of normal, let's look at the typical last hard freeze dates for Illinois. In a nutshell, the median date for the last hard freeze in southern Illinois is the first week of April. For central Illinois, this date is typically in the second week of April, and for northern Illinois, it's the third or fourth week of April. So this cool snap that is centered on the Great Lakes and Northeast is not that abnormal. So with that cooler air, though, we have seen regular precipitation across most of the United States. California, especially Southern California, received a good soaking of rain last week as an upper-level low-pressure system spun over the state. This rain will definitely help with their long-term drought. Checking in on the drought across the United States, California is still in the grips of a historic drought. This drought started in 2012 and got much worse in 2013, 14, and 15, as rainfall and snowfall totals were dreadfully short of average. The cumulative effect of this lack of precipitation will take years to undo. Now, El Niño conditions have helped in 2016 by bringing much more rain and snow than in the past several winters, but the cumulative deficit in rain exceeds 50 inches in some parts of the state. The northern parts of the state have been faring much better, though. Reservoir levels are above average for the first time in several years, which will allow California to survive another year. I know many of our viewers are here in the Corn Belt, but I take a moment to point this out because California leads the nation in nearly 80 different crops and livestock. We must keep an eye on the state as it does have a big impact on U.S. ag markets. Now, the drought monitor also shows that the central United States has been abnormally dry. Strong winds plus a lack of precipitation has led to numerous grass fires in Oklahoma and Kansas. Now, we need to keep a close eye on the size of this area and its dryness as we progress into the growing season. Well, what's on tap for this week? Let's start with precipitation. Sunday evening's radar animation shows why many of our tractor time users know that the start of this coming week won't be favorable for getting into the fields. Sunday brought soaking rains to Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, parts of Kentucky and Tennessee, as well as southern Michigan. Severe storms moved across northern Texas and Oklahoma, and even Arizona got in on the rain. Parts of Arizona had not seen rain in several months, so this rain is much welcomed. As thunderstorm season gets underway, we can start to watch some live mapping of lightning strikes. Southern Illinois was lit up with a nice round of storms on Sunday, as were several locations out west. We need to keep a close eye on eastern Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana on Monday, though, as the threat for severe weather pushes into these states. The Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk for severe weather in the region where Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma meet. Strong winds and hail are expected in this area, and the risk for tornadic thunderstorms is elevated too. We are watching a weaker low pressure system move through this area, and the location where the fronts merge into the center of the low will trigger the formation of storms that have the potential to be strong and even severe. Rainfall totals, though, through Wednesday look to push through the eastern half of the country in 3 bands. On Monday and Tuesday, Kansas through Ohio receives a narrow band of heavier precipitation, as does Arkansas through Tennessee. Around midweek, another round of storms will push through Texas, too. But drier weather is on its way for the Corn Belt after this rain moves out, but that is when things start to get really interesting. We are finally forecasting the breakdown of the cooler weather pattern for the eastern half of the United States for later this week. We are watching the cold air and the deep trough in the jet stream finally push out after midweek. At that time, warmer air is pushing into the eastern half of the country, bringing 60 and 70 degree weather with it. This warmer will be much welcomed as field work increases ahead of the planting for the majority of the Corn Belt. Temperature projections for Champaign, Illinois, at Agrible headquarters have been rebounding towards 70 degrees by the week's end. However, with this shift, the threat for severe weather increases, especially across the Great Plains. We will be keeping a close eye on this shift to keep you ready and prepared as severe thunderstorm season sets in. Well, as always, we at Agrible bring you the latest and best weather forecast information through our morning farm report so that you can efficiently plan your operations. We thank you for your attention and hope you look forward to our next weather video update. Thank you.